My family moved to New York early 60s, late 50s. We kind of had to discover American black culture. And I remember seeing graffiti murals. That's what blew my mind. These people who would risk their lives to make these giant murals that were so beautiful in the dark, knowing that they were temporary. I wanted to be that. Just as a child, being this small and seeing these giant trains come by with murals that nobody asked for, that they had to like steal them, like the whole mythology behind it. Stealing to create art, it was just, they were my heroes. Graffiti was about representation. I feel like in places where people feel represented, you won't see a lot of like reactionary kind of graffiti. Like graffiti happens, people are gonna tag and throw their names up or whatever have you, but I feel like that particular moment where, you know, the administration in New York had cut the budgets and the funding for the arts. That's a part of you, that's a part of your humanity that they're cutting in a way, and not being able to express that as a child, like we saw what that did, particularly in New York that was depressed. Hip hop, just what it did to art, it transformed it. It gave the voiceless a voice. Like that's what I'm constantly trying to do, and it used what was around it to make a sound, you know what I mean? It made work that could not be ignored. The magical part of hip hop is that in that moment, we were like, we find value in this art. Our community tends to be kind of divorced from the art world, and the art world, they reach out, but it's not, I don't feel it's sincere. It's kind of like, look at you. It's kind of like it's, they fetishize the people that they're trying to represent sometimes. And that's kind of gross. This was kind of the tail end of a series called Basquiat, and kind of some of the things that Basquiat went through, kind of being the first hip hop artist to blow up. The art world was kind of just kind of ate him up and spit him out. They didn't really even know what to do with him, and he was so hip hop. Fast forward to today, where kind of hip hop is, at least the commercial side has kind of shifted its focus to the acquisition of money over talent. I think black masculinity, as it's been performed by hip hop, is kind of this hyper masculine, or has become this hyper masculine drag. It's almost become a caricature of itself. There was no mention of sensitivity or vulnerability, and I feel like, you know, there's so much power in vulnerability that we don't speak to. Just about, you know, the death of our idea of masculinity, so that the new ideas of masculinity can kind of take its place or be added on to our current perception.